Shalom. Call halal, Yahweh by Shemal Shai, by Shem Rakakudash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders. Salutations to all my fellow laborers, doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be light unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners. And to the Aquath that are listening and learning, to you I say Shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the Great Millstone here in Chicago, coming at you with another lesson in truth. And this lesson will be for the historical race facts, or critical historical race facts channel. I came across this video. It was my my son Maccabee from the Colorado Sons of Jacob that turned me on to this channel, and I started. I subscribed to it, so they pop up, and behold, this one popped up today, and it's going into Alexander and how he took over, and it lines up with so many lessons that I have given in the past about his history, and that Alexander indeed was an Edomite. All right. So before we play the video, I'm gonna give you this quick history that one of the brothers from the main count brought out a couple years back, and it was about the Battle of Gaugamela. All right. And basically, it reveals the history when the Edomites took over Kittim in Macedonia. All right. And you could also find that in the Flavius Josephus. It was the Battle of Arbela, the Battle of Gaugamela, if I'm pronouncing it correct. All right. And that's, when I would say, not Alexander, but his forefathers, his grandfather Philip and Philip II, when they actually took over that part of the world. And then Alexander finished what they started and took over the dark Grecians, the dark flesh Grecians. Okay. So, as a matter of fact, let's give you an image of that, because this is the image that they portray of Alexander. I keep this insert in the book. All right. That's Achilles right there being played by Brad Pitt. And that's Agamemnon where the arrow is pointing, and his brother. Agamemnon on the left of the screen, his brother on the right. All right. And those are supposed to be the people of Troy that he's going to war with. The king in the middle there with the white hair. All right. So, and it's supposed to be a war between Sparta and Troy, and the Spartans, according to biblical history, were Israelites. So they leave those very important facts out, and the evidence is in this book right here, Blacks in Antiquity by Frank M. Snowden Jr. All right, and we're gonna go right to page 48, and these are the images of Agamemnon and his army. All right. You can see the dark, the dark flesh and the textured woolly hair. All right. These were soldiers rushing to a priest who was being killed by a big black guy that was named Heracles, or who you know as Hercules. All right. And he was destroying the priests and the soldiers that were trying to protect them. These are the images from the time period. All right. And if you can see, it says the detailed heads of Memnon and Negroes from black figures. So the point being, I don't know why it wants to fade in and out now. That's Esau playing with the camera. I'm surprised they haven't turned it off yet, like they often do. But let's see if it it's really pissing me off. There we go. Detailed heads of Memnon and Negroes from black figure. So those are the relics from the time period of what they're talking about. And I was saying 332 BC. They're saying 334. So I was about 2 years off according to them. But nevertheless, it lines up. So basically, Europe was full of these dark flesh people that you just saw on the screen. And these Edomites, these pale flesh people, so-called white people, took it over at that time. This is how the Edomites became Grecians. They became Macedonians and Grecians. They were no longer calling themselves by the name of Edom anymore. All right. And then Rome sprung up out of that. And the Romans referred to themselves as Idumeans. All right. And the Grecians is Idumeans, and Idumean is the Greek way of saying Edom. So they were running from that name Edom. And they still are to this day. Okay, I saw a video that I must do a response to with some guy, said, you know, labeled my son is involved in the Hebrew Israelites, and, you know, what should I do or whatever. And the guy says, well, first of all, they're black Hebrew Israelites, which is, that's, if you're really in this truth, you're not going to call yourself that, because the Israelites make up a lot of different people, and it's really not a color thing, it's a bloodline thing. All right, especially since we got scattered to all the nations and all the people of the earth. People among all people. So, you know, when you, especially when you're looking at the GMS camp, we show fruit of that evidence of what's actually written and what actually happened, and not on some emotional thing about color. Okay, so this really isn't about color. It's about bloodlines. Okay, but nevertheless, you know, I'm gonna have to respond to that. All right, but to get back on track before I lose thought of my my process, I want to go to the to the front of the book, and there's a portion in the book when wow, we always talk about page 8. I wasn't even trying to find it. I'll read it anyway. Color varying from reddish brown to deep brownish black. Tightly curled and wiry hair described as woolly, frizzy, or kinky. Broad, flat noses, thick lips, usually puffy, and averted proctasianism often marks the subnasal region. So these are the description of all the images that were found throughout Greece. All right. Reddish brown. That's your ruddy. Matter of fact, when you look up ruddy duck, ruddy cow, ruddy dog, ruddy bird, that's what it shows you. Deep darkish brown, reddish brown, not pale red. That's something completely different. That's Esau, you know, changing the meaning of words and trying to lie and cover up stuff as usual. But I'm trying to find this insert, something that he said about art is more important than the written text, because in the text they can write whatever they want, but the art will tell you a different story, as you just saw. Because you're gonna have people scoff and say they're stupid arguments, even though we presented the physical evidence that proves what I was saying. And I'm just trying to find that portion. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get back into this book, man. There's a lot of info in here. Yeah, woolly hair sometimes is described as thick. Majority of Ethiopians, especially who dwelt among the Nile, according to Diodorus, was black skin, flat nose, and woolly hair. So the Greeks and the Ethiopians didn't look that much different. All right. Just trying to find that portion where he talks about, because I'm pretty positive it's in this book. Just give me a moment. I should have found it before I started, but you know, I saw this and was hot in the spirit, just to jump right into it. And then I'm gonna play you know, a little bit of this video. It's bothering me. Basically, it's something to the effect where he says that it's more important to examine the art, because historians would write into the text what they wanted to, even though the art shows you a complete and different thing. You know. Of course, I can't find it right now. It's pissing me off. But I did find this. We just looked at the false image of Memnon. The guy here. I forget this actor's name. He's been in so many movies. That's him on the far right with Miss Byrne. That's Memnon right there. There you go. That guy there. That's him right here as well. Now let's read what, and we just looked at the images of Memnon with his soldiers. Now let's read what was written about him. And it says, and Memnon wasn't an Ethiopian, he was a Greek. Though describing Ethiopians as black or dark, the ancients recognized that these people differed in pigmentation and took considerable pains to record observed differences. Ethiopians may have looked like Philostratus, but not most of the Greeks and the Romans. Even Philostratus himself described Memnon as not really black because the pure black of his skin showed a trace of ruddiness. All right, so no one is purely black. All right, what it's saying that red is that reddish. People are different shades of brown. Okay, different shades of brown. That's what ruddy is, a dark brownish person. All right, or even a light brownish person, someone they would refer to as light skinned. Okay, and they have those reddish tones in their skin, as I do. And then you have dark people that have those reddish tones in their skin as well. All right. Matter of fact, Negroes and Native Americans were both referred to as copper-colored people in the 1600s. Trying to get that to. There it is. Negroes of red, copper-colored complexion are known among African tribes. You see? And those weren't Negroes at all. Those people were indeed, just trying to get that to refocus. There we go. Those people were indeed Israelites. So now that we've presented the evidence, let's let him tell the history. So let's begin.
After leaving behind him.
Wait a second, and before I even do that, let me read the Information Act. This is a copyright disclaimer under Section 107, Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So I'm declaring that fair use act, and I do not own or nor am I profiting from this in any way whatsoever financially. Spiritually, yes, but no way financially. So let's let him.
In the smoldering pile of rubble that was now Thebes, Alexander the Great returned to Pella and gathered all the Macedonian magnates. Together, they began planning the invasion of Persia. During this meeting, the king's advisors counseled him to take a wife and sire an heir before departing. However, either due to political calculations or because his interest in women was tepid at best anyway, Alexander refused this suggestion.
Alexander was a known homosexual and really didn't care for women. Typical of Esau, especially the Grecians were known for their homosexuality, bisexuality, that was normal, bestiality, all those things. And that showed in Rome. You can watch true depiction of that is when you watch the episodes of Spartacus. All right, or the all those old